Sultan of Sokoto and the rest of them, Gumi, have finally replied to Donald Trump that Sharia law is not the problem of Nigeria. They have said it categorically that Donald Trump should mind his business. Donald Trump should not interfere in the situation of Nigeria as it's going. Don't forget that a few weeks ago, when Irabo did his birthday or his retirement stuff, when the Sultan of Sokoto spoke, he said that the way in which, maybe he foreseen that this thing is coming, that make him to make those statements, that the way we are seeing jihadists, that the way we are looking at jihadists and this and that, that's not how jihadists look like. That before they proceed to imply anybody, they pass through normal procedure. These are words from the Sultan of Sokoto. Sultan of Sokoto said that the Boko Harams we are saying today is not that they are that bad. It's because of lack of education. These are the words he's using. And that's why he's now looking at it that the body language of these people, the Gumi of this world, the rest of them, are giving more energy to these people to do more. For crying out loud, do you know that the other world are laughing at Nigeria? That there is no any country that is waging war against us. We are the one waging wars against ourselves. Who are these Boko Haram? Who are these elements? If there are not people, powerful people who are behind these people, that nothing they happen, they should continue. They are the owner of Nigeria. So it's high time now that Bola Ahmed Tinubu should stand up and play his politics well. It's as if I knew that this day is coming. When I tell Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I say stand up and act fast. Because the thing you are even afraid of now cannot make you to win. It's not what is going to make you to win the 2027 election. If the way this is going now, if Bola Ahmed Tinubu did not stand up and play his political politics very well now, they can use this Donald Trump now to knock him out before 2027 election. He should play smart. As what they did to Jonathan is what they are going to do to the North, to Bola Ahmed Tinubu. As it is now, even many Northerners now, they are even happy with the route in which Donald Trump is taking now, as he hitting Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Because it looks as if many ways that the Northerners have taken to measure the wicked Tinubu is more ahead of them. Now, the only way now they are seeing now is this Donald Trump now. And that's why you can see many of them now have not really come out to speak. They are still watching whether the politics of this Donald Trump is going to favor them. Remember that Obama policy favored the North. They are also weighing it now. That could it be this is a way of God want to favor them? That Bola Ahmed Tinubu might likely be hit by Donald Trump policy. So my advice to Bola Ahmed Tinubu now should sit down. Don't follow your people like Onanuga, the rest of them. People like Reno Mokri, Stomach Infrastructure, what is his name? Nobody is backrolling me. They are altering word that it's not flying. You cannot afford to wrestle with Donald Trump, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. This is my advice. Diplomatically, follow this issue. When Donald Trump called Africa shithole before 2017, what did the Almighty Buhari did? Buhari went there after 3 or 4 months, go to America to go and see Donald Trump. At the end of it, all case closed. It was Donald Trump that was using mouth to advise, to tell the world that Buhari is trying his best. Don't forget that even this action you are seeing that Donald Trump is taking is against their interest. He has been monitoring Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the way Bola Ahmed Tinubu will go to China, he will go to Japan, Breeze meeting, he go to this. He's avoiding America. So they feel that this is the right way to hit Bola Ahmed Tinubu. In as much we dislike what many things Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is ahead of them. Right. I am supporting Bola Ahmed Tinubu because this action is taken against the North, making them to realize that they are not the owner of Nigeria. Is what is sweeting me. And if things continue like this, what we are looking for the vision of Nigeria will come to pass. If Jonathan Obasanjo will have also taken this route Tinubu is taking now. Maybe today we will have not been talking what we are doing. This element of Boko Haram, Fulani banditry now, maybe it is the north that will be facing it. It won't have concern them. How many of you know that before Buhari came in to take over power from 2015, we don't know what is insecurity here. The Boko Haram was actually in the north, taking their operations, doing whatever they like. But you can see it now that everything happened when Buhari came in. Fulani men, by these Fulani men that was reportedly they invited, took over Nigeria. And you see the level we have gotten ourselves to. So I believe that Bola Ahmed Tinubu will sit down and reason and how to strategize, not to raise shoulder to shoulder with Donald Trump. He cannot. We cannot afford to raise shoulder with America. We never reach that level. So anybody who is advising him, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, snub them and do the needful. I've said it time without number. The only solution to Nigeria problem, divide this country, let everybody go. Please continue watching this video. Subscribe to this channel on your notification. The Northerners are coming gradually to hit on Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I want you people to watch this video of Sanusi, how he has blasted Bola Ahmed Tinubu government, Akpabio, and the rest of them who have turned themselves to praise singer to Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Even according to him, as Nigeria is suffering and smiling in this government. For me, Sanusi, he did a lot of havoc to what we are in this country. His intelligence. I love his boldness. I love his charisma. But a time came when he allowed himself to be used, maybe probably because of the pressure being mounted on him by his people to make sure to bring down the government of Jonathan down in order for Buhari to take over. I wouldn't know to a large extent. But I feel that a man who is a central bank who knew what is going on then, he would have not taken the step he took, no matter how the pressure his people mounted at him. To a large extent, he's a man I love listening to because sometimes he's one of the prominent person in the north that regardless of the condition, he will come out to speak the truth. He is a man that have once said that marrying different wives has causing setback to the people in the north. The north has held power for a long period of time, but poverty is reciting at the north. He has talked so many things that is the problem of the north. But the only problem I have with Sanusi was just that mistake he allowed his people to push him to take Jonathan government down, even at his level what he was occupying then as a CBN now. But I want people to watch this video because he's trying to correct the damage he has done then. But it's too late because the same man who was up to, oh, Jonathan do this, Jonathan do that now, you need to watch what he was vomiting in this video. You need to watch it. Watch it, and you cannot watch this video without sharing this video. I've said the time without number that the truth of the matter is that those who did all the available means to bring Goodluck Ebele Jonathan government down, if they should summon courage or if they want their children not to remember them that this is what they did, they should be able to see some more courage and beg Jonathan for forgiveness. Because Jonathan government is heaven compared to what we are seeing on this Bola Ahmed, right from Buhari government to this Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who they claim they are angel. Remember that they told Nigerians that the Jonathan government was a devil. Then that we should embrace them, that they are angels that have come to save Nigeria. But now, even the blind can see, can witness, can testify to it, the difference between Jonathan PDP government and these people government. Even the people who are eating from their government now, they know that it's not, they are not getting it right. But what can they say? This is what they are eating. They cannot criticize it. I would like people to listen to Sanusi, even as I will come back to analyze more.
Nigeria is a classless society. If you take the people you call leaders, go to the Senate, go to the House of Reps, you can go and pick 109 Nigerians at random without election. Put them in the Senate chambers, and the results may not be different from what you're getting now. Okay? Because the truth is, you have highly educated people in government, but they behave like illiterates. They forget their education behind. When you talk about praise singing, why would a man who is an educated man, an accomplished man, why would he be a praise singer to anyone? Why would he not be able to face his boss and say, Oga, we're not doing that, this is the truth? And why would a person in authority not have the confidence to listen to those around him and take criticism? Okay. So you've got people who are supposed to be the representatives of the values of society. By the time you become a governor, honestly, you should be beyond looking for money. You have been given an opportunity to take care of the lives of millions of people, to educate children, to save lives, to provide health care, to build infrastructure. All you are thinking of is a car, a house. I mean, are you that cheap? Or some bank account, and you see them, and at the end of the day they leave office. After a few years they die, and the children are fighting over the money. Then they get the money, and then they go on drugs, and everything is wasted. That money would have been better spent educating millions of young people and saving lives. So if we really want to fix this country, we need to have a class. The ruling class needs to have values beyond stomach infrastructure. This leads to misplaced expectations. There's a role for the central bank. There's a role for the Ministry of Finance. You've got monetary policy, you have fiscal policy, you have structural policies, you have institutional reforms. And yes, I was one of those who commended the appointment of Wale Edun and Yemi Cardoso. These are two gentlemen that I've known for many years, and I have never had any question about their competence. And if you try to assess them, you've got to ask, what were they supposed to achieve? Okay. Now, going back to the beginning, you talked about 2012. And you talk about the suffering from removal of subsidy. It's simple arithmetic. If you're paying 80 naira or 65 naira per liter, and you begin to pay 160 naira per liter, costs will go up. There will be hardship. And the duty of leaders is to understand that there will be a cost to removing subsidy. And I said in 2012, if you remember from the town hall meeting, to say that there will be hardship is not an economic argument. To say that there will be a cost to removing subsidy is not an economic argument. The economic argument is, this is the cost of removing the subsidy. What is the cost of not removing the subsidy? Are you making a choice? We were in a situation where we had a hedge that we called, it was not a subsidy, it was a hedge. You see, a subsidy by definition, the government says, I will pay X% of the price. That is a subsidy. I'll pay 20% of the price, whatever it is. Price goes up, you pay more, I pay more. Price goes down, you pay less, I pay less. What we had in this country is what in risk management you call a naked hedge, the worst possible derivative. The government said to Nigerians, 200 million Nigerians, you will not pay more than X amount per liter on petrol, no matter what the price of petrol is. So all price goes up from $40 to $140, the federal government pays the difference. Exchange rate moves from 155 to 300, the government pays the difference. Interest rates move from 5% to 15%, the government pays it. Remember, the price of petrol and what the calculations include the cost of crude, the cost of refined product, the cost of transportation, even interest rates, demurrage. If you look at the template, all of those amounts were being absorbed. The federal government was saying, I have an unlimited pocket. So we moved from a point where we were using revenues to pay subsidy to where we had to borrow money to pay subsidy, to where we had to borrow money to pay interest on the borrowed money. We had become bankrupt. Anyone who takes a naked hedge ends up being bankrupted, especially with a commodity where you don't control the price. So this was the point in 2012. Now, if Nigerians had allowed the Jonathan government to remove the subsidy in 2011, that would have been pain. But that pain would have been a very, very tiny fraction of what we are facing today. This is the cost of delay. At that time, we worked out the numbers in the central bank, and I stood up and put my credibility on the line and said, remove the subsidy today, inflation moves up from 11% to 13%. I will bring it down in a year. We will not have had 30-something% inflation. Okay? That was where we were. Now, people like my friend Kaide Fayemi here and his APC friends had Occupy Nigeria, came out on the streets, told us we could not do it. And I remember calling one of my friends. And this is, we should talk about these things because it's important. There's a kind of poetic justice. That it is actually the people who led the Occupy Nigeria movement who ended up seeing the problem, inheriting the problem, and having to do it. And I remember calling one of my friends at that time and said, look, one of my closest friends, saying, you know that what we're doing is right. He said, yes, I know. I said, why? He said, well, I'm in opposition. My job is to make the government look bad. You know, you are the governor of central bank, you go and defend your government. Just politics. And you know, the only reason the government compromised at that time, maybe we should know this, the only reason the government compromised and did 50% not 100% was Boko Haram. Because there were thousands of Nigerians on the streets in Lagos and Kano and Kaduna and all that. At the time when we had suicide bombers in the country. And there was a fear. If one day one of these suicide bombers goes to these Nigerians and explodes the bomb and you have 200 corpses, it will no longer be about subsidy. So you have to give President Jonathan the credit. He was determined to do it, but at the end of the day, the compromise was made, okay, to save Nigerian lives. Now, what has the central bank achieved? The central bank's role is to provide stability. The central bank does not deliver growth. It does not deliver employment. It provides an environment that is conducive to growth. Okay? Now, and the central bank has achieved it. You don't want inflation moving from 10% to 15% to 20% to 25% because, as I said a few weeks ago at NESG, Nigerians don't realize that we were on the brink of hyperinflation. Beyond a certain rate of inflation, it becomes runaway inflation. You can't control it. You'd buy rice in the morning. By the time you come at 12 noon, the price has changed. By 4 p.m., it has changed. This is what happened in Zimbabwe. It happened in Venezuela. It happened in Argentina. We were heading for Nigeria. We were printing money like that. So we're heading for Nigeria. We're heading in the direction of Zimbabwe under Mugabe or Uganda under Idi Amin. So inflation has been reined in. The runaway devaluation has been stopped. Yes, we're at 1,400. Nobody wants an naira at 1,400. But it's better to know that it will be 1,400 for the next 6 months, 8 months, 10 years, than to think it's 1,400 today, 2,000 tomorrow, 2,500, which is really... So the central bank's job is not to give you a strong naira. The central bank's job is not to give you low prices. The central bank's job is to reduce the volatility in the price level. And so when you assess the central bank, you've got to say, what has it done? Have you reduced volatility inflation? Have you brought it down? We're going to bring it down to single digit on your way. There's still a long way to go. Okay, I would like to see inflation come down to under 10%. It will take time, but in terms of stopping it from runaway ties, exchange rate volatility has been reduced. Now on the fiscal side, and we talk about tax reforms, those reforms, the Tax Act only takes off next year. So we must remember that before the tax reforms have kicked in, we have increased government revenues. We have brought down debt service ratios from 100 and something percent to about 40%.
Have you people now listened to what the man have said about the Goodluck Jonathan? This is the same Goodluck Jonathan. he demarcated before 2015 that Jonathan did not save for the rainy day. Jonathan removing subsidy was not wise. It was not a wise decision and all that. I know that Sanusi is too intelligent for all that step he took before 2015 election, but he was being pushed by his people. If you look at most of them in the north, even the Jiga, the INEC chairman, who did all his manipulation and all that to make sure Buhari become president of Nigeria, today, are they not regretting it? The level of insecurity under Jonathan that they complain about cannot be comparing what is happening in the north today. When we assume that Buhari becoming the president of Nigeria will automatically put an end to terrorism in the north. But no, instead of him to focus how to reduce the terrorists in the north, to stop the Boko Haram, he wasn't the case much by importing those Fulani banditry, the Fulani terrorists they imported from all over the world to Nigeria. To come and take over Nigeria. They wasn't the security of Nigeria for not even only the north, to the south. Instead of him to channel his energy, how to make sure he reduced the level of insecurity in the north, he busy concentrating on his energy in the south is just because of Mazen and the Kano. Or probably maybe the hatred they have against the Igbos by proscribing IPOP as a terrorist organization. He fought everything by all means, and today look at where he left the north. This is not the north Buhari meant. If you interview most of the north now, they tell you that Buhari orchestrated most of the insecurity in the north right now. Because the moment he made that statement that if he did not win the election, if Jonathan did this blood will flow, bamboo will do the other things, his followers use that avenue to cause mayhem in the north, which the vice presidential candidate to Peter Obi, Labour Party, Babadati, have said it. That from then he pulled out to follow Buhari. That statement alone. That statement alone caused a lot of problem in the north, and that's why we are seeing the level of insecurity in the north today. But guess what? Those people who did all manner of these things, who work against Jonathan government, then Jonathan want to finish the north, are they alive today?